Hey everybody. So today I want to talk about a player on the Philadelphia Flyers who has really impressed me so far this season. And if he keeps up his offensive pace, is certainly going to have a full-on breakout season this year in the NHL. He really already is. And that is winger Joel Farabee. And before we get fully into it, I just ask that you please subscribe if you are new and hit that thumbs up button if you haven't yet. Both of those things help out so much and are greatly appreciated. Let's get into it here. Winger Joel Farabee for the Philadelphia Flyers has had a phenomenal start to the season. And after certainly some ups and downs in his rookie year last year, absolutely looks like he is going to be having a breakout year all season long this year for Philly. And he's looked really good here at the start with a lot of offensive production. So Joel Farabee was drafted by the Flyers back in the 2018 draft, 14th overall. And then last season, he was his rookie year. He played 52 games for the Flyers. And there were a lot of ups, but there were some rough patches as well for Farabee. As with most rookies, obviously it was his first time in the NHL. He was only 19 years old. He's 20 years old now. And this year, he just seems a lot more comfortable and a lot more ready to go at the NHL level. Through the first 11 games he's played for the Philadelphia Flyers, he already has 6 goals, including 1 hat trick. He's got 3 assists as well for 9 points on the season in 11 games and a +3 rating. All of last season, in the 52 games that he played, he only had 8 goals all season long. So he's almost matched his goal total from last year in the first 11 games of this season, which is really awesome to see. And Farabee looks like he has the potential to be a star player for Philadelphia. He was a first-round pick for a reason. He's still very young, only 20, still has plenty of room to grow, even more so from here. But he is really starting to break out and solidify himself as a top 6 force for the Philadelphia Flyers. And that is great to see because they have a lot of young talent on that team. Obviously, there's some veteran guys there. I mean, Giroux and Voracek are still really important players there who have been there for a long time. But when you start to look at guys like Travis Konechny and Oscar Lindblom and now Joel Farabee, there's starting to be a youth movement there in Philly where they are getting a lot of production out of some of these young players. And that is awesome because that is going to make the transition from the Giroux Voracek era to the next era a lot smoother and a lot easier without having to go through a big, retool or a big rebuild or anything like that, because they already have that talent there and they're now really starting to prove to be star level players at the NHL level, which is great to see. And they got Morgan Frost, unfortunate injury for him this year. Looks like he's probably going to be done for the rest of this season, and hopefully he can come back next year stronger and better than ever, because Morgan Frost is another really good young forward that they have that is, going to play a huge role for this team going forward. But Farabee is the guy this year that is really standing out to me. The improvements that we've seen from him from last season to this season have been certainly noticeable, and they've been very large. And he looks so much more comfortable at the NHL level. Looks like he can legitimately play his top 6 role on a night in and night out basis. He can also play on the third line if they need him to. Philly really does have 3 scoring lines, which is obviously a great amount of scoring depth to have for the Philadelphia Flyers. And Farabee can play on any of those top 3 lines. You can move him up and down the lineup. He could play on the 4th line if you wanted him to, but I feel like that's almost a waste of his talent because he is better than a 4th line player, obviously. So he's a guy that I would use wherever he fits best. He had a goal last night. He had a hat trick the game before. So he's got 4 goals in his last 2 games, and he has just looked really good to start this season for the Flyers. I'm super impressed with him. I love the development in that, where the way that he's progressed from last year to how he looks now. And if he can keep this up, he is going to be a force for the Flyers for a long time, because he is already starting to look like a legitimate top 6 guy, and a guy that, along with Lindblom, Konechny on the wings, they're going to be they're going to be significant scorers for the Philadelphia Flyers for the foreseeable future. All three of those guys, and they're all still fairly young. I think Konechny's the oldest out of those guys, but he's still pretty young as well. And that's a scoring group that the Flyers can build around for a long, long time. And then obviously they've got Frost coming up, who's a center. They've got Couturier, who's certainly been around for a while, but still is on the younger side. He's a veteran, but it's not like he's in his mid-30s or anything like that. Obviously, Giroux and Voracek are getting a little bit older, but the Flyers have the young guys to come in and replace them as they do get older and their production starts to slip, which it hasn't this year. So I'm not saying that Giroux and Voracek are done, because they're not. They're still producing at a high level this year offensively. But as time goes on and as they get deeper into their 30s, obviously we are going to see a little bit of a decline there eventually. And when that does start to happen, the Flyers have plenty of young talent there who can just step into the lineup, or they're already in the lineup, but step into those bigger roles and really, just replace those guys and replace the production. And we're already starting to see it. Travis Konechny had a fantastic year last year. He's going to be a really good 20-plus goal scorer for a long, long time. Lindblom, great to see him back in the lineup. Great to see Oscar Lindblom there. And he's had a pretty solid start to the season, and he's only going to keep getting better. Farabee, obviously having a breakout year this year, looks fantastic with 9 points in 11 games. So it's just been really, really impressive what I've seen from Joel Farabee and these other young players for the Flyers. And while the Flyers certainly have some defensive issues, that's a topic for a different time or another video. But as far as the offense is concerned, they've got a lot of talent there, and they've got a lot of young talent that I am really, really impressed with. And Farabee is one of those guys that's really stood out to me this year as being significantly improved from where he was last season. And again, he's only 20 years old. He's just going to keep getting better. And he's been a fun guy to watch. He also brings a little bit of physicality and edge to his game as well, which I think makes him, similar to Konechny, an even more interesting player and an even more fun guy to watch on a nightly basis. So I'm really excited about seeing him going forward. And I think the Flyers have a lot of great young talent there that really are starting to come into their own at the NHL level. And they're going to be a scary team for a long time, because they certainly have the ability to put the puck in the net. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon merchandise store and donation link are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.